Welcome to the Developer Experience Show. This is your host Saurav Pathak and thank you for joining us today. In each episode, we are going to have some fascinating conversation, expert interview and thought-provoking discussions on Bagisto. But before we move on to the conversation, do not forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future podcast. And if you like our work, please leave a review in the comment section below. It will really help us grow.
For someone who wants a lot of customizations to be done, Bagisto has a good future that I see over here. For a newcomer, I'm sure Bagisto is very easy to learn.
In today's episode, our guest is Mr. Mounish Ambaliya, who is also the co-founder of TechSevin Solution. We are going to discuss with him in detail of the services they provide and how did they actually broke Bagisto for the first 10-15 days before choosing it as a tech stack for one of their preferred customer from the Middle East. Thank you, Mounish, for joining us today on our podcast Developer Experience Show. How are you feeling, Mounish?
I'm great, and thank you so much, Saurav, for bringing me over here.
Great. So before we go ahead, I just want to tell our listeners a bit about yourself. So if you can just give me a very small introduction of what you are doing, how's been your career, and how's life going on.
Sure. So great. Hey guys, I'm Mounish Ambaliya, one of the co-founders of this company called TechSevin Solution LLP. We started up in 2014. We are a team of 55 plus developer right now. We are e-commerce expert companies. We have worked with 100 plus e-commerce brands, retail brands, and helped them develop their e-commerce websites. Uh, Earlier to that, since 2008 itself, when I started my career, fortunately I've been working with e-commerce companies only. That was the break that I got, and I feel I'm fortunate enough that I entered into this fast moving industry and this exciting industry. So yes, that's who I am. I've worked with a lot of e-commerce brands and retailers earlier in my career, and then yes, with TechSevin we have worked with a lot of brands across the globe.
Mhm. That's great to hear, Monish, about the journey of Tech7 and how you started with this industry, right?
Right.
So, talking about e-commerce, was it something that was pre-decided from your end that you guys are going to work in e-commerce, or it's just like you saw that there's opportunity in the market and you decided to go with that?
So no, it was not about that we looked at the opportunity and we went ahead with it. No, it was not that. I belong to a business family since 3 4
Mhm.
generations, and we used to work with woods earlier and then all this building materials. So I always had business and retail focus in me.
Mhm.
And fortunately, when I moved to Mumbai from Gujarat, okay, I worked with a company, and uh, we that company earlier we used to work on few CRMs and few basic things in 2008, but in 2009 we got a good chance to work with a group buying model e-commerce site, which we developed. It was very new for us. E-commerce was very new for us, and in India, I know a lot of people at that time, they were very scared of doing an online transaction. They were scared of kind of someone will hack all our bank accounts and everything. They were so much scared to do any kind of online transactions. But slowly and steadily, that e-commerce gained traction. It got acquired. It became huge, and one after another, I got chance to work with Nika. I was one of the first developers for that. I worked with shoppershop.com. I was one of the initial developers for that. Again, in the previous agency where I used to work, and I got good chance to work on very good initial e-commerce setups in India. And so in 2014, I think so. Retail was always in my blood, but then when it came to e-retail, right, it clicked me like anything, and that's the thing that I we had developed a good expertise into, me and my co-founder Mehul. So even he used to work with me in my previous agency. We are college friends, we are school friends. So then we both decided to start this agency called TechSevin, and since day one we are catering only to e-commerce businesses. That's the core that we do, and we don't do anything else. We only do e-commerce websites and apps.
Great. So retail is in your DNA, right? So I
Yeah.
have a very interesting question for you. Since you told me that you belong from Gujarat and you moved to Mumbai,
Right.
and there's a thing with the people in India that the people from Gujarat are very good in business, right? So what's that critical DNA factor? I guess you can tell me better. Like what is the difference that Gujarat people bring to the market that they are so good in doing business?
So I don't know what the difference might be, but yes, the only thing that I see is since initial days. I come from a small town, and of course there won't be any service sector in the towns,
Mm,
right? It's all about doing different business. Someone would be having a kirana store, someone would be having some other store or something. We also have building materials and all those products that we used to sell. So yes, that was in my blood. I since very childhood I used to visit often at our business place, and we used to. I used to be there in weekends with my dad and my grandfather and my uncles and everyone, and I used to see that okay, how these people they how my parents they used to sell all these products, how people used to come and they used to bargain a lot on the things. Some smaller orders, some bigger orders used to exchanges used to happen. It always used to excite me. Even in my 10th and 12th vacation, for 2 or 3 months, I used to every day I used to go to my our warehouse, and I used to sit there the whole day. Sometimes I used to get some chance in afternoon when people my dad would go at home for lunch, and in Gujarat we have that habit of having lunch at home.
mm,
So I used to stay alone at our place, and if some customer, hardly some of them would come at in the afternoons. Okay, no one will come at that time, but sometimes I used to entertain a few clients at that time, and that brought this DNA into me. Now, coming to your other question, why in Gujarat? Gujarat was always a business state. That is what I feel. Service sector recently entered into it. Everyone were into some or other businesses, and that is how it used to work. People since their childhood they've seen how the businesses are done from small to large, right? And so that's the reason everyone is excited to have their own business. Now recently in the last 15-20 years, a lot of service sector is there in Gujarat, and that's the reason a lot of people doing work. But earlier it was all businesses, all smaller businesses interacting with each other, and I think that's what it has ended. We are again risk takers. We don't think of we think at the longer goals. That is what I feel. Someone who is into work, they would think at what will happen to me in 6 months, but we will
mm.
think of what will happen to us in 5 or 10 years. And that's the reason we chose to be we take that risk and we be over here. I won't say there are a lot of other people. Everyone who is a risk taker will be able to do this.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It seems like things have been shaping up for you since the early childhood days that you have been getting some on-hand experience on different things, and then it was like a very straight decision to go with the commerce and retail part since you have got a good experience. Hold on that, right?
Right.
It's always amazing to know the story of the people who are actually doing the business, so how things have been shaping up from the very early days and how they're taking it right now. That's great to hear. Now, talking about TechSevin company, I see that they have been like you guys are working on number of platforms, Magento, Shopify, and the number of platforms, right?
Right.
So, if I talk currently, like how many platforms do you cater right now in providing the whole services?
Sure. So we do cater to Magento, we do cater to Shopify and Shopify Plus, BigCommerce, and Bagisto. Yeah.
Mm,
Recently, since 1.5 2 years, Bagisto we have started working with that. So these are the basic platform that we work on. Of course, the side services like mobile app development and all things we do that.
mm. Mhm. I saw that Bagisto has been a very recent additions for your company,
Sure.
and I've also heard that you have also got a very great story that how you guys moved from something from Magento to Bagisto. I just want our listeners to hear that story from you.
Yeah, so we have a client called Sultan Center. They are based out of Kuwait. They are in 4 countries and they have 60 plus supermarkets. They are our client since 2015, and we had developed Magento. e-commerce for them in 2014 on Magento version 1. Then we moved them to Magento version 2 on Magento Enterprise. Till 2022, they were on Magento. They wanted to launch something called quick commerce, that is like Zepto or Swiggy Mart that we have in India. They call it Rush.
Okay.
They're doing this product as Rush. Now again, scale Magento can scale for sure, but there's also a lot of infrastructure cost attached to Magento. Uh, and also we are looking at a lot of different scale things into that platform, and that's the reason in December 2021 we started exploring that okay how we can take it to the next level of scale along with the performance and the infrastructure cost to be minimal. So while we started exploring a lot of different things, Salesforce Commerce and a lot of other things, we started exploring that how it can be a cost-effective solution, plus it can be a performance, super performance kind of thing. It took us a couple of months of research. We had also explored one more Laravel-based e-commerce platform, but then finally we came across Bagisto. We did 20-25 days of research. If we can go and customize and break Bagisto as per what we want, not it to be on its own framework, but if we can break it.
Mhm.
And just in 15-20 days, our developers they were able to do it. So then we created a load test report on that with say grocery. So in a normal e-commerce, you would have 4 to 5 products in cart. That would be
Mhm.
average cart size. I've seen hardly 1 or 2 or 5 products at max. But in grocery, it is always going to be 30-40 plus products. They have 38 to 40 average cart size.
Yes, right.
So we started testing all these APIs of Bagisto and checked, did the load testing that how if it's quick enough to load the card in microseconds. We were able to do that. It was not only our TechSevin team; it was also Sultan Center's tech head. His name is Divanjan. So he did a research on this, and we together were finalized that okay, let's be on Buggy. So again, yes, we always knew it's a very new platform. It would not be having all the available integrations that are there with Magento or Shopify, but because we wanted to reach to our next level scale and we wanted that performance, we made that hard decision to be on Bagisto. It took us 4 months with a team of 15 plus people to work on day in, day and night. And yes, finally in June 2022, we launched it. And I'll tell you, earlier the API response time was around 1 second for cart with 40 plus products. In Bagiso, we got it in 200 microseconds. So we were so happy with that. The server cost that we had on Magento was almost $32,000 a month. It is currently $12,000 a month. So along with
Wow.
dev and staging and production and all the traffic that we have. So we have huge performance. If you go and check Sultan Center, you will see add to cart. It happens in blink. Cart to check out. The flow is we are so happy with that. These clients are so happy with this. So yes, we uh, that's the reason we started even just today itself. I've recommended it to one more enterprise client. I hope we close it.
Then that's really great to hear about a wonderful case study that you have with Bagisto, and with all those stats that you just told to our listeners about how much time it's going to take for the APIs and what exactly you are looking to build. I have a follow-up question on that. See, whenever you are new to market and you want to go and try something, you look for something which is very stable in the market, right?
Right,
Magento been here for 15 years and they have a very good community, good number of merchants around the world, and obviously like it's a very pretty old and popular platform as well, right?
right,
However, after Adobe acquired Magento a few years back, we have been hearing a lot of noise on the Magento open source community that they have been, very much inclined towards the enterprise customer right now. They're focusing a lot and not so much in the open source community. What do you think that this scenario presents an opportunity to the other open source platform to serve those customers with the tech stack that they are providing?
definitely that's a huge void that is already created because after Adobe acquiring Magento, and it is called Adobe Commerce right now. It's not even called
Mm-hmm.
Magento right now.
Magento Commerce, right, right.
They don't prefer speaking Magento. as a keyword. But yes, for us old timers, I've been working with Magento since 2009. So yes, for me, it is always going to be Magento.
Mm.
Yes, there's a huge void created. A lot of it has been grabbed by Shopify already. All the community clients, they have been grabbed by Shopify, I'm for sure. But for someone who wants to build something custom, Shopify always is going to have its own limitations, right?
Mhm.
I do build on Shopify. I know there are few limitations that you have on Shopify. For anyone who wants to be on open source on a custom thing, platform, right? I will suggest yes, definitely all other custom platforms like OpenCart or WooCommerce or Bagisto. Of course,
Mhm.
you have a
Mhm.
huge opportunity over here. OpenCart, I again feel it's a bit outdated, but yes, a lot of people they still use them. We do develop on that. WooCommerce, it's another thing. I always feel WooCommerce is for a very small retailer, but again, instead of WooCommerce, be on Shopify, I'll say. But yes, for someone who wants a lot of customizations to be done, Bagisto has a good future that I see over here. We just need to work a bit on the community part. That is what I feel. But once we have a lot of modules over here, it that's a huge opportunity, I'll say,
Mhm.
because there are still a lot of good someone who understands tech, the company,
Mhm.
any brand or retailer who has an in-house tech lead or say CTO or CI or someone who understands technology. I'm sure they would want to be on a custom platform rather than being on a SaaS platform. And if they want to be on a customized e-commerce, and if they don't want to incur that commerce charge, out of commerce charge, I'm sure all these open sources they have a huge uh, say spread that is available right now.
Obviously, I guess community really plays a very good role for any open source. It's not just e-commerce, but any application.
Yes,
Because if they have got a very good community, it means that a lot of people are using it and on a daily basis, right? So you get a lot of feedbacks to improvise on your platform.
actually,
Definitely,
actually.
definitely. Uh, from the developer's perspective, and also being a co-founder of a company, I
Hmm.
just want to understand, like, whenever you get a requirement, like someone is looking to build an e-commerce shop, right?
Hmm.
So what exactly goes into your minds before you go and choose a particular tech stack? Because you don't know, like when you get a customer, you know, like you are going to work for a long term. So choosing a tech stack, I guess it becomes a very critical juncture, because you have to continuously work on that for next 1 or 2 year, right?
Correct.
So what is the parameter, I would say, that you guys consider before choosing a tech stack and start work on that?
So, yes, as you rightly said, choosing a tech stack is the most important thing that comes at the start when a new client comes, right? Or even if someone who wants to migrate and move away from their current tech stack, it's choosing a platform is the right thing, and it needs a lot of discussions with the business side on what exact requirements they have. The first question that I have is what are your goals for next 1.5 2 years?
Mm.
Do you have a plan ready that okay, after this phase one, what else you want to get built on your this section? Because after 2 3 years, of course, they would want to be on a new system or want to scale it up. But what initially what's there in on your mind for next 2 years, that is very important for us to know,
Mm.
that at what level they want to scale. And basis that we, if there's a small D2C brand or someone, yes, I might say that okay, it's okay, you go ahead with Shopify. If they don't have a lot of customizations or a lot of third party integration that needs to be done. But if someone who comes and say they are a brand, they are established brand, they are omni channel, and they have a lot of customizations that needs to be done, and they have a lot of integrations like ERP and CRM and loyalty and a lot of things. I think everyone has a huge tech things that they want to integrate for the customer, building the customer experience. So yes, that is where these all of the selections we might suggest them to go with Magento Enterprise or Shopify or BigCommerce or say Bagisto in the case.
Mhm.
It all
Okay.
depends on their future goals, on their current requirements that they have, what all integrations they want to do. Basis that.
Mhm.
A recent example, one of our clients they wanted to do a video integration, video commerce. Okay, and we did a intense research. They wanted to be on Shopify. We did an intense research, and the third party integration they wanted to do, it was not available over there.
Mm-hmm.
and that partner was not providing any such these things, no APIs, nothing. So we had to suggest them to be on a custom platform, because if that's their core business model, they cannot be on something which limits that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Talking about the customization, right? Like when someone comes with your requirement and you know that this is something which is not the default feature in e-commerce, right? And you need to customize the platform, right? And since you have been a developer, you have worked on both Magento and Bagisto part. So what's the, I would say, the level of customization? I would like basically like to categorize into easy, difficult, like that. Okay. What's the level of customization that you have felt while customizing Bagisto and Magento?
See again, Bagisto, I know and I believe it's built on Laravel. Laravel is a very lightweight framework.
Mhm.
It's very easy to, and there are a lot of things available on community. Of course, even for Magento, a lot of things are available on the community. If you go and search for anything, as a developer, for me it was always the same thing.
Mhm.
Uh, the development time required on Magento or on Bagisto, it was always almost same. Again, maybe because I've already 15 years of experience into this industry, for me it might be the same thing. For a newcomer, I'm sure Bagisto is very easy to learn. Uh,
Mhm.
then Magento is its own set of complex programming, and
Mhm.
Bagisto being built over Laravel, it's very easy for someone to have a basic knowledge of MVC and PHP, and I'm sure they'll be able to do. So
Mhm.
I'll say for a newcomer, it's very easy to adapt Bagisto than Magento. Magento needs a bit of extensive training,
Mhm.
and to understand its architecture, it's a bit complex than what Bagisto is.
Mhm.
But again, I
Great,
think
great.
Magento has a huge community already there.
Mhm.
Bagisto, we are still building it over here.
Mhm.
Uh, so a lot of things is readily available on Magento, which makes the development bit quicker. A lot of solutions are there. Bagisto, I'm sure will be there.
No, definitely. I think there's obviously no straight comparison. Anyone can make between Bagisto and Magento. Like following that, Magento have been there for quite a long time. Obviously, a lot of new open source tools are coming up in the market, and
Right.
certainly, like Bagisto is should be in the race, and they're trying to do as much as possible for the community and building extension and talking with the partners and all those stuff, right?
Right.
And obviously, because of Laravel, it has got a lot more popularity because of the huge number of developers who are working on Laravel.
Very lightweight. It's very lightweight. That's the only thing I'll say.
Mm.
Bagisto is
Mhm.
very lightweight. Performance and infrastructure cost is way superb than what any other platform has.
Definitely. You mentioned one thing in your case study about Sultan Center that you guys were doing some R&D for the first 15-20 days and trying to break Pegasus as much as possible and trying to do customization. Could you just give a small overview that during that phase, like the initial phase of 15-20 days that you were working and doing R&D, what exactly you were doing? I guess because that will give some very good insight to the new developers who are looking to choose a platform, and what you guys do. I think it will be very helpful for them as well, that they can try to do some stuff on that and before choosing a tech stack.
Sure. So see, initially when we selected this thing, we had a specific set of requirement from Sultan Center that okay, we have this 100 things to be done. Now we were selecting a platform which can
Hmm.
enable us with that 100 things. Plus, we have the future scaling thing. The first thing that we thought was, can we break Bagisto? Okay, can we break the framework itself, and can we build our own something of our own on top of it? Like Bagisto, initially when we started developing, it didn't have Elasticsearch. Now Bagisto
Hmm.
by default has a Elasticsearch. Our requirement was to have Elasticsearch in that. Can we integrate that? Yes. So first initial 15 days was about this thing. We deliver from multiple stores. Can we do that? Yes. We deliver. There is click and collect. There is all this rush thing that I said. Different catalog for different countries and different locations. Different pricing for different things. Uh, of course, as I said, we wanted to integrate something called Clear Tap into this.
Hmm.
We wanted to switch between Clear Tap and Elasticsearch as and when required. We wanted to switch between MySQL and Elasticsearch. if we can do that, that if we want to switch off Elasticsearch, it should be by click from the backend, and the whole catalog should be served from MySQL. Is that possible? So we just went ahead, we checked the code, we tried to break it by checking if we can also not break the core vendor part of the Bagisto, and extending all those things. And yes, we were able to do all these things available, and that's the reason we chose it. Again, as I said, Devanjan, he is the someone who is leading the tech for Sultan Center. He is a very intelligent guy, and he would have not approved anything which would not let it scale. So yes, there al- I think almost 6 7 developers of ours, they were sitting on this for 20 days straight for R&D on different platforms. Once we selected this, we started breaking it for next 10 15 days more, and yes, then we finally selected it. So there was a huge investment that we and client did on this, on selecting this platform.
Now that's great. Whenever you speak about you guys have been trying to break the platform so much that it ultimately gives a result of what you desire for, right? So I think to all the listeners, before you choose a tech stack, try to break it as much as possible, okay? And try to do a lot of stuff that you are looking to have from your clients or from your end, and then go ahead and choose a tech stack, because you guys would be sure that this tech stack would be able to handle all the requirements that you already have, right? Now, talking about the Indian ecosystem, right? Indian commerce ecosystem, right? You have been getting a lot of query from Indian merchants as well who are looking to set up their e-commerce shop, right?
Right.
What is there anything something common that you have observed in the Indian commerce, Indian ecosystem merchant that they are expecting, and what is the tech stack if you want to recommend them a one tech stack or one or two tech stack that they can definitely go and choose for in order to build a commerce shop, looking at the Indian commerce, not in the world's perspective.
So Indian commerce, I think so. Recently, what is in boom in India is D2Cs. There are
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
D2Cs blooming up. I think so every day there would be 10, 50 new D2Cs that would be emerging, right? And all of
Mm,
them, initially, yes, currently what all these D2Cs they look at is a very low cost integration, because of course they want to spend more on marketing
mhm,
than on the development part. So that's the reason they are looking at a low cost solution. For enterprises, definitely they someone who has reached at a scale at enterprise level, they would not be looking at the costing at the first phase. They would want to look at the scale, at the performance. Okay, I think so. For D2Cs, Shopify is one of the best things, because it's very easy for them to be live in a week's time. uh, uh, but also there are few Shopify's, a few D2C brands who have not been reached at enterprise level, but who has cracked that, say, 20 orders a day or 50 orders a day is limit, and they are looking at a bit larger solution. Because I'm part of couple of D2C groups. Majority of them are happy with Shopify, but someone who is reaching at that scale, and someone who wants to integrate a lot of third party things, they are complaining of Shopify a bit, because they are not able to integrate those things. And for them, definitely I would recommend, say, Bagisto, because Magento is, as a term, is very scary for all these founders. They are very scared of the term. I don't know why, but they are scared of it. Maybe because of the development, regular maintenance,
mm,
cost, and the infrastructure cost. That's the reason. So Magento is for enterprises right now. That is what I feel. But say this layer can be very well taken care by Bagisto. We need to have few more modules on Bagisto by
mm,
default, but I think so if it is there, this can do wonders.
mm. Okay, okay. Uh, as per you, how much does geographical location plays before choosing a tech? So, like in the commerce, if you go on Europe section, like Symfony is a framework that is quite popular from France.
Hmm.
So what happened is that one of their popular e-commerce platform, PrestaShop, which was on custom PHP, they moved to Symfony, and then they have Shopware from Germany that is again on Symfony, and then there are many other applications in Europe that migrated to Symfony. Similarly, if you go to US, I guess Magento and Shopify, I guess from Canada, and
Yeah.
just Magento from Europe, they're quite popular, and most of them, e-commerce shop you will find in those areas in that tech stack, right?
Correct.
So Bagisto being from India, and the people or the companies who are looking to develop this online site for the merchant. So how much important does this play a role that hey, this is a tech stack that's from India. If we need a support, I guess we would be able to get support because these are the native guys and we can talk in the native language and we can discuss on that. So what do you think that does this factor play a certain role in choosing a tech stack somehow?
I, from my current experience, I've not seen this as a case
Hmm.
for now. Maybe why Symfony is used in Europe and Shopify and Magento is used in US a bit more, because that might be the marketing strategies that they have,
Hmm.
the targeting that they do. There's a SaaS-based platform that I know, which people in Middle East, say in Kuwait or Saudi, they prefer it above Shopify because they provide the localization very well
Hmm.
in Arabic and everything.
Right,
So
right.
we prefer going ahead with that platform. Very smaller D2C brands, not the enterprises again. So yes, maybe localization, it can play a role well, but I, at this moment, as per my experience, I don't know if that could be a good reason. I think the support is the biggest thing that can play a role, because I've seen a lot of people complaining a lot about Shopify support, Magento support, kind of the support that they don't receive, right?
Hmm.
So if there are good modules available, integrations available, support is there, I think so. That is the growth factor that you need to build a huge community, I think so. If there's a huge community, there will be a lot of developers and agencies working on this.
Hmm.
If that's the case, I think so, yes, we can grow in that way. And yes, support, it plays a good role.
That's truly a very great insight on this particular topic, as many people do look for certain, like application in their area so that they can get support. And obviously, like community does play a very great role for the open source application. So, Manish, I just have one last question from you. On part of TechSevin, I recently heard that they are going to be that Bagisto partner as well. Okay, and they have been, like, you guys are working constantly on Bagisto. So I just want to let our listeners know that on part of Bagisto, as a Bagisto partner, what services they can expect from TechSevin.
So yes, we can develop a e-commerce website for you, a fully customized e-commerce website as per your requirement, as per your business requirement. We can build that. Along with that, any kind of mobile application that you want to build, Bagisto has superb API sets. Bagisto by default comes with Vue.js as front end. So yes, definitely it can be headless. It can be fully headless. We have done all of these things, developing a mobile application, integrating it with your ERPs or CRMs or anything, we can do that.
Great. So thank you, Monish, for your time. It was really a great talk and having you on the show. It really present a very good insights to a lot of developers out there and the merchants who are looking to choose a tech stack, and also about you and your company, what they are doing. I wish you and your company all the best, and many congratulations for being a Bagisto partner as well. And we look forward to be in touch with you and have more such conversation in the future.
Sure. Same here. Thank you so much, Saurav and Bagisto team, for having me over here. It's so much proud moment for me too. Thank you so much, Saurav.
Thank you, Monish. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Same to you. Same to you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. Remember, if you have any ideas or suggestion, feel free to reach out to us via any social media channels. We love hearing it from our listeners. Until next time, this is Saurav Pathak signing off. Take care and keep exploring.